Well, hi there, Haunt Nation. It is your boy Ant. And man, are you guys so lucky. You are flush with content all at once. So, in case you haven't seen and you see this first, there are three new reviews up for Haunts Scream Mountain in Springmount, Pennsylvania, uh, the one in Jackson, New Jersey, Nightmare at Gravity Hill, and also got a really good review, although it's closed now because we're out of the season. Brighton Asylum, Passaic, New Jersey. Now, this is not a haunt review because haunt season is over and we are not into the holidays when haunt season restarts. Kind of, sort of. However, this is going to be a horror movie review because I was bored and I decided to watch a film called Thanksgiving. Now, I had only seen this movie, not even in preview, just on the media apps and whatnot, like Netflix, so forth. So I decided, why not, right? Horror movie based around a holiday. Sure, sure. Because we know that we like really bad horror movies as well as really good horror movies. Now, my plan is to see Terrifier 3, which I would have been watching right now, but it's just too fucking nice out. I mean, it is a perfect fall day right now, so not like you're going to be running around in shorts and a t-shirt. Not that kind of nice, like round about 60-degree nice. But if I was going to smoke a cigar and do a review, now would be the time, because tonight it is probably going to dip back into the 30s, and that just doesn't seem like a fun time to sit outside and do either of those things. So, without further ado, as they say in the French, here's the review. So, Thanksgiving is a film from 2023. Yes, I am looking down because I am trying to keep it so that I can actually give you some details. Several actors, some of whom are familiar looking. One of whom is very familiar looking. Plays the father in the film. His name is Rick Hoffman. You'd definitely recognize him. Some of the other ones, you'd be like, oh, they look familiar. No leading people, but you normally don't see that in horror films anyway, right? 2023 film, and it is by Eli Roth. Now, from what I remember of the Eli Roth films that I've seen, they tend to be very dark, very brutal, just not happy kind of films, not happy ending films. So I was like, all right, that is promising. This film, however, even though it is directed by Eli Roth, is quasi campy, and it's like a tongue-in-cheek kind of campy. They So the basis of the film is that it's before Thanksgiving. It is the night before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, or actually, I think it is Thanksgiving rather. Let me not say that. It is Thanksgiving. It's the night before Black Friday. There is a store owned by one of the main characters' father that is open for a Black Friday sale on Thanksgiving, post dinner time or around dinner time, for the big Black Friday sale. Chaos ensues, people get hurt, people die, and a year later, someone comes for revenge. Alright? There's your premise. So it's a little bit like, it's got kind of a I Know What You Did Last Summer, like that teenager kind of thing. All the kids in this movie are supposed to be, high school juniors ish, right? Or seniors. Of course, they all look way older, but that's very typical in the horror movie genre. Nobody's using, 16-year-olds to make movies, especially slasher films. Well, what threw me is, like, some of the acting is good, and some of the acting is questionable. None of it's really terrible, but there's good acting, and then there's like, not so great. All the sets are fine. There is some gore, not quite as much as I would expect from an Eli Roth movie, but there is some. But the practical effects, although they're there, they don't really come off as very realistic. Like I said, this movie is kind of tongue in cheek, maybe. It's kind of campy, but it tries. It's campy, but it's taking itself seriously, which is just a weird combination for me. Either go one way or go the other. They really didn't. They kind of went with the campy thing. The main character in silhouette looks great. He's carrying an axe, dressed like a pilgrim. He's got a John Carver mask on. John Carver being the originator of Thanksgiving. It's time for a sip of my beer. Yes, beer. Gotta love it. Brought to you by Pinter. This isn't an ad for Pinter because they don't, not sponsored. They don't sponsor me or anything, but it is a cool way to brew your own beer at home without brewing your own beer at home. Look it up online. Pretty cool thing. Anyway. So the character, the main villain, takes on the persona of John Carver. There's, of course, a mystery to it. Who could it be? A la, Scream, or like I said, I Know What You Did Last Summer, that kind of thing. Who is the bad guy? They try to lead you in different directions as to who the bad guy could be. Few murders, big reveal at the end, cliffhanger type ending. Very typical. It wasn't a terrible film. It wasn't by any means a great film. There wasn't the kind of gore or the amount of gore that I expected. Like I said, some of the kills were just a little ridiculous. Things that would never happen in the real world, like an industrial trash container, like the big multi-gallon ones you'd see out behind the back of a diner or some kind of shop, the lid coming down on someone and splitting someone in half. It's just nowhere near realistic. It was funny, plenty of blood, but nothing believable. That's why I'm saying it's kind of campy, tongue-in-cheek. It doesn't really take itself seriously, but at the same time, it's trying to present itself as a serious horror movie. I think there are better choices out there to watch. I wouldn't say this is horrible. I wouldn't say don't watch it. It's not complete trash, but you wouldn't be losing out on anything if you didn't see it. Will there be a sequel? Probably, because they make sequels to fucking any old thing now, and I am constantly baffled as to what gets a sequel or why, but what do I know? I'm not a Hollywood producer, so anyway, keeping this one short because I will have a Terrifier 3 review coming, and I'm sure that will be longer and either really excited or really disappointed, because I do love the Terrifier franchise. I do believe that Damien Leone has created a horror icon, which is very difficult to do. We only have a handful, right? Norman Bates is iconic, but really, for what? Leatherface is definitely iconic, based on a true story that really isn't anything like the story in Texas with Texas Chainsaw. It's really based on a Wisconsin serial killer, didn't run around with a chainsaw. So very loosely based. But then you've got your classics. You've got your Freddy Krueger, your Michael Myers, your Jason Voorhees, right? Those are the big three. You've got your Pennywise. You got Chucky, right? That quickly became an icon. But there are not a ton. So for this man to create an icon, i.e. Pennywise, is very impressive, and I have high hopes for the future of that franchise. But we'll see, because that review will be telling, and I will tell it. I will definitely tell it. Anyhow, keeping this short, I am Ant. That was the review for Thanksgiving, the film 2023. Eli Roth directed. I'm going to go with. Man, I'm going to do the typical film review thing and go out of 5 stars. This is a 2-star film. You know, not great, not terrible, not a complete waste of your time, but really, I mean, even if you wanted to see great gore, there's not that much great gore to see. So, you know, it is what it is. Anyhow, 2 out of 5. Thanksgiving movie review. See you soon.